Let people connect.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome back to another Fireside Chat from the European Cardano community. Welcome, everybody. We are so happy to have you here, guys.
Hey, hello.
Hello,
Marcus,
everyone.
Martin.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you
Hello,
again.
everyone.
Michele, Lord.
Hey,
Nice.
Richard. Hey, Pudgy Cat. Marcus, Martin, welcome.
Peyton,
So many beautiful
Julian.
people there. Nice.
Boaz, you made it. Awesome. Very cool. This is amazing.
Yes.
So,
How are you guys doing? Marcus, tell us, where are you at the moment? In Munich?
Yes, I'm in Munich, and yeah, everything so far, everything fine, and what should I say? Regular week, but the start of the week was a little bit difficult because I went to Berlin
Okay.
by train, by German train company, and yeah, the trip to Berlin was very horrible. Instead, 4 hours, I needed 12 and a half hours. Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
But I would say this is unfortunately normal already, yeah, in Germany, such kind of,
how do
yeah.
they say? Don't leave Munich too early.
True.
Doesn't make any sense, but it sounds good.
Maybe it's an option
guys.
for this one, yeah. But
You're
generally,
the Germans there. I don't know.
we will have a very time constrained presentation because we have two US guests and they're actually joining just in between the Thanksgiving preparations or already the festivals. So we highly respect that. And thank you guys. Thank you, Peyton. Thank you, Julian, for that.
Happy to be here. Sorry, it took me a little second to get set up there. I got a new office, but I'm
Okay.
happy to be here and no worries. I got the turkey out there smoking, and
Oh,
I'm looking forward to it later in the day.
very
Nice.
We need a picture of that one.
Yeah, I actually just took a little video too, so it's looking pretty good so far.
very cool.
Did you post it on Twitter or so? Or is it
Not
just
yet, but I was
fun?
planning on it, and I've got some like wild oyster mushrooms that you kind of put on the inside there, and some chanterelles too, and they're kind of like poking out. It looks really good so far.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Can
Yummy.
imagine.
I've never eaten an American turkey so far, so I have to.
Yeah, I was telling the co-founder of Atrium. Can you guys hear me? It doesn't always
Perfect.
turn green.
Perfect.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, the co-founder of Atrium was kind of shocked that I wasn't working today, and I was telling him like, yeah, I was telling him about what we do and where it came from, and it's definitely one of my more, more likable holidays. Probably, top 3 for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty important, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. So let's rush through so that you can get back to your families. Ricardo?
Yes.
All right, let's continue. Davide, can we go on to the next slide?
Of course. Let's start with the mantra. That's
Exactly.
Catalyst mantra.
Benvenuti all'esperimento.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Les choses perront. We're going straight in.
Quebra.
E qua,
Feeling
fehlende Dokumentation.
Differ greatly between iteration.
disorient, overload, and inspire.
Our
Our
goal
goal
to provide a safe and lively environment
for you to explore the highest potential
De la
Oh.
De la colaboración humana.
Yeah,
Mauro. Mauro. Nice.
Very nice.
Il n'y a pas de français là-bas.
Hey, Matt, you're joining too. That's cool. And our goal is to provide. Oh, you have that already.
Yes, we
Oh,
did.
come on, let's skip that.
Yes, let's go straight forward about Catalyst Fund 11. We want to remember that we have our fantastic proposal there for you to vote. We are doing great things, and with your help, we can do even better. Also, we can have a very, very small recap of what happened yesterday in the Global Town Hall. It was pretty interesting as usual. We started again to remember the old projects that were funded. If I remember correctly, we talked about in coins that were funded in Fund 6, so quite a lot of time ago. And now it's about to complete. Then there was Cardano for Climate, presenting what they did in Fund 8, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, we touched about the timelines for the new round 11, that there are many changes that you probably are already aware of, and it will be a very interesting round this time. So We hope to have your contribute also this time to have another fantastic year in front of us.
And we're planning great things, to be honest.
Yes, we did. And that's why we have also our personal mantra. If Marcos, you want to go ahead because it's your baby.
No, keep your notes up to date. Try to study or learn something new every day. Support and connect with community members for synergy and goals. I mean, that applies to everybody here. Be inclusive, friendly, and wise with words, even in anger, especially important with Catalyst starting again. Share information without destroying dreams, people, or their reputation. And hello and welcome, everybody. We're getting started. Hey, Mauro.
Hello, team. Just arrived home. I always try to not. I always try to be in the town hall. So how are you?
Fantastic, Mauro. We love you.
All good. Great having you.
Let's remember also that we are now starting hosting Twitter space in many different languages. We are doing them quite often. Last week we had so many of them. We had the Italian one, the Greek one, the Spanish one, and the Croatian was the last one we had.
And
we are
just
looking forward to make more of them.
And we just popped out the SPO space where Mladen from Rumor Stake Pool is interviewing a stake pool operator every month on the Cardano Twitter, and on his own channel, he's doing that twice a week. So if you have a project, just come on and let us know. If you want to join, let us know. If you want to be here, let us know. Let's say
if you want to host a space, let us know.
There you go. That was the one missing.
Yeah. Okay, let's start immediately with our fantastic guest. We have Big Pay here with us. We are so honored to have you guys here. Fantastic. Tell us about Atrium Labs, please.
So Atrium, for the past few years, what I've done is I've helped people, learn about Cardano. They've never heard of cryptocurrency before, and they hear I'm that crypto guy. And, I'll spend a lot of time with people locally, in person, teaching them about what is Bitcoin, what is Ethereum, what is the evolution of this space. And once they actually get down to the meat and bones, I realize that they have to go to 7 or 8 or 9 different applications to, one, learn about how to swap or how to buy an NFT or how to send and receive, or, what is an exchange, what is, Sunday swap. And really, we designed Atrium to aggregate those various financial services into one platform that teaches you how to use it with easy motion graphic videos. And on top of that, we also want to release our own core products that we think are going to add value to Cardano. So, our first goal really is onboarding, education, ease of use, and accessibility. The second thing we're introducing is called staking baskets. Staking baskets allow you to delegate to multiple stake pools at the same time and earn Cardano native tokens plus your ADA rewards. Our first staking basket is called Diffusion. Diffusion delegates to 50 different single stake pool operators at the same time, pays you the Atrium DAO token plus your ADA staking rewards for supporting Cardano's decentralization and 50 small businesses. If you don't like Diffusion, you can actually come in and create your own staking basket with your own composition of pools with your own Cardano native token on top of those rewards. If you're, a struggling pool operator that isn't getting delegation because you suck at marketing, but you're good at running a node and you're good at business, you can actually come together using staking baskets and market the same entity while still having single pools. For example, a good business guy, a good marketer, and a good node runner could all come together and market one basket, all be rewarded equally, and then grow together and use their services together. The other thing we're also bringing within Atrium is SocialFi to Cardano. We're allowing people to connect with their pool operators, get messages from their pool operators, send messages to your pool operators, follow projects. In the same way that we're aggregating the various financial services, we're going to be aggregating Twitter and, Discord and Medium all into one place, into your, your wallet or your dashboard. So you can just stay up to date with all of these projects and all of the stake pools and make sure you don't miss an airdrop. And, you'll be able to level up, your NFT because your account is actually an NFT that is minted by a new smart contract that we've created. I don't know if I'm going a little long here. Am I good? Keep going.
15 minutes. You have 15 minutes?
Oh, I've got 15. Okay.
Wrong.
Wasn't sure. So
we've
designed a new smart contract called STOA. Stoa actually allows you to mint an NFT, and your your user data is actually stored in datums in that NFT. It's using CIP68, so there's actually a matching NFT that lives in the contract that holds those datums. So really what we're bringing is, baby social media to the Cardano blockchain, where your account and your data actually lives in an NFT. That NFT you can actually customize, and the way that you customize it is by leveling up from engaging with the community, following projects, helping people on Discord. And as you level that up, you're going to unlock new backgrounds from your favorite projects, new statuses, new pictures. And, you can customize a web page that actually lives within atrium.io. And what you're doing is actually updating the datums within that NFT. And it's obviously going to update the picture for the NFT and also update the web page that lives in atrium.io. And if you're a project, let's say you're running an event, you can have an event, NFT that displays the upcoming dates for your event, where to purchase tickets if it's not for free. If you're a DEX, your NFT can actually have the swapping mechanism of your DEX in your own branded NFT on our site. So this is where the aggregation is going to live, is within, the social media. Oh, sorry, dog's barking. Good to go now. So if you want to, use Indigo, you'll go to Indigo's, page, and you can follow them for notifications. And then you can also just create a CDP in there. You can, deposit into one of the stability pools directly in Atrium. And, to talk about kind of where we're at, this smart contract's already finished. The SocialFi contract, we're calling it Stoa. We've actually already minted some of these on Cardano's testnet. The staking basket contract that allows you to delegate to multiple pools is also finished. And we actually have a staking basket up right now that delegates to 50 different stake pools at the same time. And we have 35 million ADA in this basket on the testnet that's split amongst all of these different 50 stake pools. And, really, where did I get this idea from? This idea of, paying people to support decentralization, it was from Cardano. When the A0 parameter came out, it's set at 0.3, it was supposed to incentivize people to delegate to pools that increases Cardano's decentralization. It just didn't end up shaking out that way. The only way that you can get this increase of rewards, this 30% increase, is if you have 72 million ADA that you can pledge to your own stake pool to get that reward increase. And what it needed to do is really incentivize people at the bottom. If you're somebody that has, say 500,000 ADA, you should pay more rewards than somebody that has 20,000 ADA, because then people are limited to the total number of pools that they can create by that incentive. So really, how do we, get the new user that has never, heard about decentralization or blockchain to support decentralization? You have to pay them, because all of these new users that are coming in are, they're entirely self-interested until they learn about what blockchain can do for the world and the value that it can bring for people in third world countries or second world countries. And, so that's really where the idea came from, is, how do we decentralize Cardano? We have to get creative. You have to incentivize people to delegate towards Cardano's decentralization. So that really is kind of what Atrium encompasses at this point. We have a lot of stuff that we're thinking, 1 year from now, but really it's, onboarding, education, aggregation into this, all-in-one platform, and then staking baskets, which supports decentralization. You'll be able to create your own staking basket. And then finally, baby social media on top of the Cardano blockchain, where all of that, data actually lives in an account. And the accounts, the smart contract verifies that your account can't be minted twice. So if you get one on there and create one that's called Marcus, the smart contract will verify that no other Marcus has ever been created. The way that you'll actually send to these accounts is you'll be able to go in any wallet and type in, at, Marcus, and then send to it. So it'll be with the @ symbol, the way that you send to these accounts and wallets. But that's really what Atrium is now. And I'm happy to answer any of your guys' questions.
Is this also having, first of all, thank you for joining. You were
Well,
actually,
thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
absolutely. You were actually the stake pool operator that onboarded me as a stake pool operator. I saw
Really?
I saw your tutorials back then. And I remember the one sentence, I was like, he's doing it right. I'm not going to write that out. I'm just going to copy paste that in here. And I loved that. So, really cool.
Yeah, I
And
mean that video was kind of like what brought me, higher and higher in this space. It's kind of what introduced me to the community, because I wasn't in Telegrams. I didn't even have a Telegram. I wasn't on Twitter. I just made my YouTube videos by myself and read guides. So like I wasn't really a part of the Cardano community back then, but I always had a passion for helping people and educating people and making videos. And that video, like I think it got 30,000 views in the first few months. And because of that, it kind of introduced me to everybody for the first time. And then after that, I started helping people one-on-one, hey, here's how you create a node, here's how you create a server first. And, here's the basics of Linux. And, I was learning at that time too. And I really learned by helping other people. And, that's kind of what allowed me to become a good stake pool operator, eventually, was the early days of creating them on the test net and, making videos for people and helping videos one-on-one. But it's always nice to hear that, from so long ago. I think that was 2020, a few months in 2020.
Yeah. And then sharing those experiences, that was like everybody was asking themselves probably in the beginning, is it worth to become a stake pool operator after 2021 or so? And then after the first big rise. And so, yeah, you made it. You made the good ones. And I mean, there's tons of different operators out there making great videos. And I said that
especially
today,
now, there's a lot of awesome videos coming out now.
absolutely. And I said that today to every stake pool operator, there is still opportunity there. Just get out there, help each other, and you'll be there. So absolutely fabulous work. Thank you so much. And
Well, thank you.
what you do with the staking baskets is also something. I mean, I can just tell people, go to the Twitter, to the Discord, and see what's happening in there. You have stake pool operators hopping in there and helping with the baskets, and that's really cool, really cool. And can you send messages also, like there's this current thing like ADA mail or something like that? Do you plan something like that? Do you have something like that in there? Do you support the idea?
So our rollout, messages is going to come later. Really, our rollout is staking baskets first. We have the dashboard live on Cardano's preview network. We're working on integrating staking baskets now. That should be done within the next week or two. And then once that's done, we're going to start an incentivized test net where anyone can use a staking basket for the first time, earn the Atrium DAO token for providing feedback, giving us bugs. And then also SPOs are incentivized as well. We have 50 real SPOs. Many of them created a preview pool for the first time just to be a part of our test net. And then, once we actually launch staking baskets, I have another development team that's working in parallel on the back end for the baby social media that we're going to build. And, that's probably, actually messaging in Atrium on mainnet, I would probably guess is at least 4 months away and 6 months on the latter end. So
cool. What do you want people to do now?
Right now, I would say I would want people to kind of just, start learning about it. Shoot me a DM, ask me questions about it. Discord.gg/Atrium Lab is really the best place where you can come in, ask questions. We have moderators in there. I'm in there, and you can always shoot me a DM if you can't figure something out. And, we have the dashboard alpha live, so you can get on there too. Once you join the Discord, if you ask for OG role, I can just give it to you, and that gives you access to our early alpha where you can get in there. You can try out the dashboard. You can see what Atrium's going to become. And then, you can also, once the button is available, you'll be able to deposit into the first staking basket and start earning some Atrium DAO tokens. And you'll be able to, use those Atrium DAO tokens to vote on the composition of the diffusion basket. If you want to add in another stake pool, because we're going to start with 50, you can vote to add in another stake pool, or you can remove one, or you can lower the fees on the basket, or increase the fees, or increase the rollout of the tokens from the basket. And what we're going to do is really build a framework for people to where you can come in and create your own staking basket DAO that's governed by a token. And then all of that basket governance is going to be done within Atrium to change the composition of the basket, to change the fees on the basket, to, offer different things using the basket. All of this governance will be built directly into Atrium. And, another thing that we're going to be able to, you'll be able to do with the Atrium token is marketing. If you want to market your event, you'll be able to just take the Atrium token and stake it to your project profile to push it higher in lists, to, send out notifications to people. You'll be able to use the Atrium token. So really our goal is just to, onboard a lot of users to Cardano and then, allow projects to use the Atrium token to push their product to those users, ultimately.
Nice. And will it be nobody? Sorry, Davide. You have your hands open for the longest time. Yeah, you're muted.
Mauro had his hand raised before me as well, so maybe Mauro should take the precedence.
Yeah, how are you, mate? It's good to see you again. Big always represent what Cardano means from some people, that is family. I see him in the summit with his mom, I think, and your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it shows what a community is. But I was not in the beginning because my internet goes down, and maybe you answer this, but this is your own project, right? You are the founder, you are the guy who think about it, or how is the process?
Yeah. So, I don't think I've ever told this before, but I was sleeping one night, probably it was last June. And, I just woke up in the middle of the night with like a cold sweat. And then I just, I already had a little bit of these ideas, but then like all connecting together was while I was sleeping. And I woke up from it and then just couldn't sleep for a few hours and just had this idea. It was very early. It didn't have everything that it had now, but staking baskets was definitely there. Some of the social features were there. The aggregation features were there. So I had that idea, and this is right in the middle of us building Rare Bloom. Rare Bloom was probably 3 months away. We have this large event coming, and it just hits me like, oh wow, like this is even bigger to me at this point than Rare Bloom, this thing that I'm working on now, this thing that's going to be useful for everyone. And probably about 15 days or 30 days before Rare Bloom, I started calling people up on the phone and just telling them the idea, pitching it to them, and every single one of them just loved it. Like they just were immediately like, yes, like I'm your guy. Let's get started working on this. I found 3 developers within a month. I found, the co-founder, these are co-founders as well. Anybody that came on early with me is also a co-founder of the company. And, we got a designer on board. We got a sysadmin on board. We got a community guy on board. And, I obviously help with that. So we have been working on this for over a year now. And, the idea and, since inception, like, it was my idea originally, but really the beauty that you see Atrium, is going to be once we launch is really a collection of, 8 or 9 different people that are all going back and forth and making it better and making it better. And, I really couldn't have done it without, my great designer, my great front end developer, the back end developer. And, we've been working on it for a year now, and we have the alpha actually launched and shipped. And, we're hoping to launch, in January, on mainnet, and it's under audit right now, the staking basket contract. So that's really kind of, where the idea came from. And I am, the original founder, while we also do have co-founders that were there with me right from the beginning.
Most of what I was about to ask was already answered. The only thing I want to add is that Marcus told you that he started following you very, very early when you published the first tutorial about staking pools. But I started following you even earlier when you were publishing Witcher 3 videos.
Oh, Witcher 3 videos?
Yes, I'm very passionate about that game.
so you found that video before Cardano?
Yes,
that's what you're saying.
Indeed. Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly. That's crazy indeed. By the way, you should have one NFT of my game in your wallet for a few months already. Maybe we should have a chat about that in a later stage.
Yeah, we can have a chat about that. Yeah, like when I was 12 or 13 years old, I used to make video game YouTube videos, and it was my passion. I would play video games all day and go to school, and I'd make little side videos and upload them on YouTube. It's funny that my life became being a stake pool operator and running servers, because when I was 13 years old, I actually used to run Minecraft servers, and then I would make YouTube videos about how to join the Minecraft server. I had like a whole economy in there. I had slot machines. I had like donations where you could buy different tiers. And it was just me, 13 years old, building these servers and then making YouTube videos saying, hey, come join this Minecraft server. And, life's funny because that's essentially what I end up doing with the stake pool is, teaching people about Cardano and saying, hey, come join my server by, delegating to it. you know.
Exactly.
It's funny you brought that up.
There's this meme going on, right, with the dad telling his kid, you can't earn money on the internet with the computer, and then years later.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, my first check that I brought home from YouTube, it was probably like $400 or $500, and my dad had to like sign for it because I was underage, and he didn't believe me. He's like, no, he's like, you did not make this money on the internet. I'm not signing a thing. And it took me like a few months of convincing, you know. I was probably 13 at the time, 14. Eventually he signed for it, you know, but it took me a while.
That's a good one.
Thank you very much. It was really fun and very interesting. Fantastic. It's nice to have you here, and I hope that you can join us in another occasion in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And it's great what you guys are doing, building a community in, in Europe. I think it's important for, people in different jurisdictions to work on community building. What I've been thinking about doing here is hosting like little small events, even though the place that I'm in isn't, large or tech focused. It's important just to, spend the time, one-on-one or 1-on-20, really just educating people and onboarding people and making them feel a part of a community, and realizing that there's people that they can talk to or they can call on, because crypto is quite complicated, especially if you aren't used to computers. It was easier for me because I used to play video games all the time, but not everyone does. And, this can be very daunting. So I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing. It's really important. And, thank you to, everyone else that joined here that's talking about your projects and for building on Cardano. And I'm looking forward to the rest of them.
Especially, Ricardo, we are currently building on something in this direction, so look out for that, maybe with the communities and smaller ones. We write that down in the proposals. Thank you so much, Peyton. And I think we go on to Matt and Mehen. And
hello.
It's a little bit selfish having your first name in the logo, isn't it?
It is.
You know what, since we launched, or since we got started, we ended up grabbing a few Meld refugees. And so some people say that this is like Meld 2.0, and some people are saying that the guys that we got from Meld are named Mate, Matt. And so the guy that was doing Meld's social media, did a lot of YouTube spaces, Twitter spaces with them, is now also named Matt. And so we have like 4 guys named Matt and the whole team. And we actually have like a few Seans. So I think between the 2 names, there's about 80% of the team either named Matt or Sean.
Oh yeah, you have the other logo as well with the $ sign, so it's actually a Sean. So
yeah, that's the S. The S is Sean.
Cool. Thank you for being here. Do you want to tell us about the audience a little bit more about Mehen? I mean, you're going around the ecosystem. It's like a whisper. People hear of you. Some people understand it. Some people don't know it yet. What are you building? What are you here?
It's essentially USDC, but as a Cardano native project. We're building a fiat-backed stablecoin that is redeemable 1-for-1. It's regulated in the US by the same kind of regulatory regime that Circle uses for their USDC coin. In the US, the way that you make a stablecoin in Europe, the way you make a stablecoin is you get an EMI license, or you get e-money license. In the UK, you get a different one in Europe for the EU zone. And under MiCA, which is not yet fully implemented, the bias is toward euro-based stablecoins. And so we decided to start with the US route and simply go through the US regulatory apparatus. Now, what that means is there are 2 regulators, or there are two levels of regulation. The federal level is called FinCEN, and every fintech company. So, Mehen is one, but also PayPal or Venmo, which is also now part of PayPal. But any kind of fintech service that you would use in the US needs to be registered with a federal agency called FinCEN. And FinCEN is short for the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and that just essentially puts you under the law enforcement apparatus, so that you have to be, doing KYC and doing all the anti-money laundering, anti-terrorist financing stuff that is expected of a fintech from the federal level. The actual operation of the token, though, and the way that the business is run is governed by every individual state. There's no federal regulation for this. And in the US, it's a bit like every power that's not incumbent in the federal government is given to the states. And so if the federal government doesn't regulate it, then the state has the decision whether to regulate the activity or not, how to license it, how to review and do all those things. So generally speaking, if you're a US company and you want to make a US-based fintech, you'll start by going to every individual state and applying for licenses at every individual state. And it's a time-consuming and costly process, but it's one where it's very interesting. You know, if you get a license in one state, you can operate in that state. If you get a license in a second state, you can operate in that state. And it's sort of this a series of dominoes where you achieve one state, then a second state, then a third state, and you eventually get to a situation where you have all 50 states, and then there are a few territories like the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands and Guam. So there are really 54 different jurisdictions that you need to be operating in to get kind of like full U.S. coverage. And that's what Circle has done. So Circle with USDC has gone through that process, and they've gone with every individual state, applied for licenses. Or there's a thing you can also do that is, a lot of states don't require these kinds of licenses if you're operating a crypto company. So, states like Wyoming and, Wyoming is very, very forward thinking on crypto. It's very aware of what cryptocurrencies are, be they the kind of endogenous cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, where they're made from the work that you do and they're generated based on, kind of a formulaic pattern, or if there's a pre-mint like on Cardano, and then it's, emitted based on the amount of work that's done or the amount of stake and block creation, that kind of thing. So, there's a lot of different states that do different things when it comes to how they're regulating crypto operators that are operating in their states. And so we've gone around to every state. We've gone through the process of understanding what it takes to get a license in every individual state. And to this date, we've received authorization from 13 different states to go and operate in their states. So to serve the people of big states like California and Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, if you're in Boston, you can come and mint USDM. And so we have 13 states. We're hoping to get up to the high teens. So we'd like to get to 16, 17, 18 states before we launch. And, we've been building. We got funded in round 9, but we've been around for well over a year and a half at this point. And, it's been just sort of a slow progression of, building the technology, building the KYC systems, building the fiat payment systems, and then working on the token itself. So the last bit, I guess, what I would like to mention is we are regulated like USDC, but we operate much better than USDC because we have an independent oracle that verifies the reserves in the account. We have a fiat bank account that we've given access to the Charlie 3 oracle to do read-only writes through the API that the bank provides. And they actually, look at the account. And then every day when the kind of the overnight process happens at the bank, they will update the value of the reserve on chain in real time. So, USDC does a good job of publishing fairly transparent reserves attestations every month. And I think that Tether does one. I don't know if they do a monthly, but they definitely do a quarterly. And to a broad extent, the reserves transparency is an important way to help people understand that you actually have the dollars in the account, and having a third party do that is very important for us. So we've got this oracle that has access to the reserves. But more than that, the oracle value that gets put on the chain is actually incorporated into the smart contract that is part of the monetary policy of USDM, so that we are unable to mint any more USDM than is included in the reserve as reported by the oracle. So to that end, we have really decentralized the power to mint excess USDM, and really puts a nice limit on what we can do as a team when it comes to, minting tokens. I think a lot of people have been worried about Tether's sufficiency of reserves, and whether or not there are enough reserves there to meet all the redemptions is sort of one matter. I think that in any given day, Tether will be able to meet the redemptions of certain reserves. But at the end of it, what we have is a situation where the actual minting could happen on USDC or USDT. If there aren't any reserves, they don't need to double check it. There's no algorithmic, transparent verification for any of it. So we've added this additional feature where not only are we transparent and doing daily attestations, but we're also doing those and incorporating those into the actual monetary policy. So we can't mint more than is available. So that's what Mehen is doing. We're building this stable coin that's fiat backed, one-to-one redeemable. We're going to be operating in 13 states at least on launch in the US. And we've had very good conversations. We're progressing nicely with conversations with centralized exchanges to help list the token and mint the token for individuals who are in jurisdictions that are not the US. So there's a couple of different European-based centralized exchanges that support Cardano native assets. And those, they're aware of Mehen. We've been talking with them, and we're ready to, get things moving in their direction. So the launch date is December 19th. And on December 19th, we should be able to have USDM on chain at the DEXs. Any individuals who are located in the 13 states that we have authorization to operate in will be able to mint USDM. And if you're not in those states, or if you're outside of the US, then you can probably get it on the DEX in either, if AXO is launched by then, in AXO, use probably Muesli Swap based on the order book. And then individuals, we hope, will set up liquidity pools to liquidity farm and trade USDM on a stable swap.
I must say, 13 states in one and a half years is not slow. that's pretty impressive.
It actually is slow. I think once we get launched and once you start out, so a lot of the states require you to be a company that has demonstrated competence in this area. And so part of getting a license in the other states is, where do you operate? Where do you have a license? Where can you show us that you can do this competently and that you can protect? Most of the regulators are concerned about protecting the buyer of the token, not so much concerned about like what we're doing, but they just care that we're not going to harm individuals and run off with the money. So that's where we are with that. That's kind of that's in all of the states, really. That's the regulatory bias, is toward protecting the user of the token. And they're not going to license a company to go and sell a token to somebody who is not a competent operator in the space. And so a lot of states have that. So I assume that once we get started, and as we go into the spring and the summer of 24, we'll be able to get licenses in a whole lot more places.
And I have two little questions. The first one is, you have a sale on WeFounder. Is that open to Europeans? And the second one is, what happens if Charlie 3 would have a fail for a quite amount of time? Do you have a backup for that?
Yeah, so there are two questions, three questions actually, because I think I heard Ricardo's question. He wants to know about the offloading or the redeeming mechanisms. So we'll talk about the fiat rails first, and then we'll get to the WeFunder, and then we'll get to Charlie 3. The fiat rails are actually managed. There's a company in the US called Plaid, and Plaid is really, they do two services. They do a lot of the bank-to-bank transfer style services. So if we need to send money to a user, we can do that using Plaid. They're very scalable, and they're very, they're not the most cost-effective solution, but they're very competent operators in the space. But they also do the KYC. So as you come in, and if you imagine that you want to, you buy USDM on a DEX, or you earn it through some work, or you get it through whatever other mechanisms you get on chain, then you need to redeem it for cash. What you do then is you come onto the Mehen like portal, website, whatever, and create a user account, and then you go through KYC, and then you use Plaid to link your bank account to the Mehen platform. What that does is all of the bank account information, all of the privacy information is preserved on the Plaid side, and then Plaid will use Plaid to facilitate the bank transfer into your bank account. So if you don't have a US bank, it gets a little more complicated, but that's one of the things that as we go through the process, we think that in kind of early Q2, we'll start approaching the European regulators about getting EMI licenses for doing transactions into European bank accounts. The bank that we're using is a Puerto Rican bank, and that is important because in Puerto Rico, they are not a US state, and so they get a little bit of a regulatory exemption from a few of the, they're kind of like international and they're US. So they can serve everybody except Puerto Ricans, most banks in Puerto Rico. So they can serve individuals who are not in the US. They can also serve individuals who are in the US. So Puerto Rican banks are a good kind of bridge between the US banking and the offshore banking worlds. So those happen through the Plaid rails. And when it comes to serving individuals who are in Europe or individuals in other places, that's something we're still working on, but we'll get that done in kind of early next year type of thing. The WeFunder, if you go to wefunder.com/Mehen, you can actually buy shares in the company itself. So WeFunder is a SEC regulated broker dealer that helps companies raise money. And as we try to do things on the, we're not going to do a token sale. Those are too legally nebulous. They don't have enough. There's not enough understanding of what rights you get when you buy a token. And so we want actually to have shares in the company sold through a company that will help us to raise capital for the company. So if you would like to buy shares in Mehen, we're going to cap it around 500,000 shares or $500,000 raised. We've already got 150,000 out. And if you want, you can certainly go there. Anybody who is not on some kind of terrorist watch list can invest. So if you're in the European Union, if you're in other countries that are not the US, you are able to invest in Mehen, the company. Now, this doesn't get you stablecoin or anything, but it does get you shares of our company. And that makes you actually would be a shareholder and an owner of Mehen. And as we go through the growth process and we get acquired by another company, imagine Circle comes and buys Mehen, or imagine we go and do an IPO, or imagine we go through a process of growing greatly and having the ability to pay dividends and that kind of thing. So like those would be all avenues for you as you would buy shares of the company, same way you would buy shares of Siemens or any other company that you would want to own as an investment in your own portfolio. So this is not necessarily like all blockchain token stuff, but it's an important way for individuals who want to own the company and have a way to legally enforce that ownership to go through the process. And so that's what we're doing on WeFunder. We would love for you to go wefunder.com/Mehen and take a look at the pitch we have there. We're doing really well. We've only had it up for a few weeks. We launched it at the Cardano Summit, and people are coming in at like, $500 a piece and just helping us to get funded. So that's great. The last piece is Charlie 3. So yeah, we don't want to have, because once you publish the token, the oracle that you publish, we don't want to be tied to only one oracle. The smart contracts right now are going through audit with Sunday Labs, and they're doing a great job. They have a bunch of recommendations that we should, put into the contracts that govern the token. but one of them is the ability to like switch the oracle. And so if Charlie 3 goes down, if we don't have the ability, if something should happen to them, we should be able to switch over to a different oracle, or even come up with a proprietary oracle and use that so that the token doesn't get bricked, and we can then continue to operate. There are certainly controls around switching that oracle. So there's going to be, kind of time delays built in so that you can't switch the oracle and then mint, right? You need to be, a certain amount of time after you switch the oracle, so that if there's somebody that wants to, quote unquote, attack the protocol, if there's an internal attack, that someone switches to a proprietary oracle and you say, well, you can mint unlimited. Once you make that switch, you should be able to have controls in place to make sure that that oracle is a true oracle and it's not some, internal mess. And so there are a few kind of redundancies that at the recommendation of Sunday we're putting in. But for now, we think Charlie 3 is a great oracle. We think they're doing a good job of putting, values on chain, and they've been a good partner with us to be able to do it. We have reached out to OrcFax about it. OrcFax, they require the thing about OrcFax. They're a good oracle, and I don't have anything bad to say about them. But the reason we didn't go with them is because we have one reserve account, and they need multiple sources. So they would require, if they say if you want temperature data from a certain spot, if you want, Frankfurt temperature data, you have to get it from 2 or 3 or 4 different sources. So that's how the OrcFax system works, is they require 2 or 3 different pieces of data to verify the authenticity of what they're reporting. And because we have one bank, one API, like that is what we have. We can give them a second API call to the same bank, but they consider that to be sort of the same information again. So we've been trying to work out a way to get with OrcFax, maybe get a couple of different oracles together to make sure that if we don't have like single point failure with Charlie 3, the question then is really like, actually which ones are operating and up and ready to do it. And Charlie 3 is the one that's got the most capability in our mind. And I don't have anything bad to say about OrcFax, but really Charlie 3 is the way to go. Chainlink really isn't on Cardano, and we're not going to build our own centralized oracle. Our whole point is we want to make sure that an independent party has a view over the reserves. We think that that's the best practice, and we think that if the regulators were going to be conscientious about how to regulate this space, that's one of the things they would require, is somebody independent of the company that's making the coin, verifying the reserves and doing so in a transparent way. So, we're happy that we're able to do it with Charlie 3, but if the Charlie 3 oracle should go down, if something should happen with the company, or if, I don't know, if they decide to hold us hostage or something, we can certainly find other options, and that will not harm the token.
Very good. Ricardo put a question in the chat. Could you say a few words also regarding capital efficiency of Mehen?
Yeah, thanks. Mehen's 1-to-1. If you look at some of the capital efficiency of the tokens that are out there, the stable coins that we already have on Cardano with the JED token or with the IUSD token, even if JED, so the problem here with JED, and I think that it occasionally has come unlocked as ADA prices increased. But the trouble that we see with JED is really that you have to put in 4-to-1 or $3 of JED, or $3 of SHEN, $1 of JED. So you really only get 25% of your capital in the form of a stable coin. So it's very expensive to mint a JED. And that's for good reason. And similarly for IUSD, you need to do more than 1-to-1. And what you have is, if you think about kind of mathematically, is what you're trying to do is you're trying to take an asset with volatility, and you're trying to make it have no volatility. And the way you can do that is you can either if you start with ADA is an asset with volatility. And if you try to make a stable thing out of ADA, what you have to do is you have to find a way to rip all the volatility out of ADA, because you have ADA. And when you instead of what we're doing is we're taking $1 and we're turning it into $1 on chain. And that is a very simple, very, easily corresponded way to take the volatility out of the pairing because you're matched. So if you wanted to do, $1 euro even, there'd be volatility and there'd be covariance between the dollar and the euro. And it's kind of a math problem to solve that you would solve in options with using options contracts or using, forward swaps and hedges that would help to offset that. In crypto, you really need to figure out, well, how volatile is ADA? Well, what we've seen in the past year, ADA has dropped 90%, or maybe more than a year, back to 2021. But it's dropped 90%. So how do you say an asset that within a year and a half or 2 years can drop 90% and have that peg to be like not drop 90%? And the way you do that is you don't put ADA in the equation. You just do it 1-to-1. So every dollar of value you have that's off chain in the reserve is $1 of value that turns into a stable coin. So essentially what we're doing is we're just taking a $1 and we're issuing $1 on chain. And we're always going to have that dollar in a reserve account to be ready to redeem. If you should redeem your dollar, we'll have that dollar and we'll send it to you and then burn the token. So that's an easy like match paired, corresponding, way to be more capital efficient with Cardano. So if you think like right now, there's like $12 million worth of ADA locked up into JED. So there's $3 million of JED. And there's $9 million that's kind of like stuck in Shen that can't be traded on stable pairs, stable swaps. So what you have is a situation where there's really $12 million there. And if you had done a fiat-backed stablecoin with $12 million worth of ADA, then you could have sold the ADA, got your $12 million, put it into off-chain account, and then issued straight 1-to-1 stables that are fiat-backed. The trouble is really like, how do you, the intermediary then that manages the fiat side and is responsible for transferring and getting the fiat money into the individual's accounts, you need to have some operational expertise in the matter. You also need to have some risk management expertise so that the fiat account is kept safe in a way that would kind of mimic what you see in the blockchain world where you're keeping the assets safe in a smart contract. And so you need to find ways to take the intermediary out of the picture when it comes to minting. That's why we have this Oracle. You have to find ways to have good risk controls in the management of the fiat. And you have to have good ways of managing sort of the risk of having illicit actors coming in and trying to mint the stablecoin, trying to do money laundering, trying to do terrorist financing. So you have to have a good KYC AML perimeter around the stablecoin itself. So that's what Mehen has built. And we've built these checks and balances and operational controls to help make sure that we have what we need to have when it comes to ensuring customer safety and ensuring that we are doing the right thing when it comes to counter terrorist financing and anti-money laundering controls. So that's what we've built over the past year, and it's ready to launch December 19th.
That's very thorough. And I want to invite you to come back, if you have the time, on January 4th, I think, because then Simon, who's in the room as well, he's on the banking side as well and doing a decentralized banking. So maybe you can connect and maybe can work on some things together. Maybe this meeting today helps to connect you guys. I have one question before we jump over to Pudgy Cat. Jillian, she's your wife. How is it to work with your wife? I work with my wife together in our company. I love it. How is it with you guys?
She's very mean. When we started doing this, we decided that this would be something we pursue. I talked to her about what it would take when it comes to our own personal finances, what it would mean for our family. And she said, okay, but as long as I get to run the show, or she gets to run the show. And so that's our arrangement. And it helps with alignment in the marriage, that we're aligned with the personally with the business, and that she is supportive and also like very involved. So she's been on Cardano a little bit when it came in when I started learning about Cardano. I wanted to know about, how to do NFTs, how to build things using the blockchain, the entire, like every time when I do like Cardano CLI transaction submit and I mint an NFT using CLI, I think that's the coolest thing, because it's actually happening there and it's actually there on chain. It just submits from my local node and bang up to the thing in the mempool, and it's on out. I don't have to worry about any kind of intermediary being in the middle there. And so like I got intrigued by the technology, and as she was trying to write a book, she was busy working on her book, and I never gave her enough time to write. And then whenever I did give her time, something else was more important and pressing, and so she didn't actually write during the time that I gave her. So we said, here's what we'll do: is we'll go and we'll start an NFT series, and she'll publish an NFT every time she finishes a chapter. And so that'll press her to get accountability from a community, and it'll also give her a little bit of a incentive reward. We didn't make hardly any money on doing the book, but now she has a book, because every few epochs she had a new token that went out there, and she had a community of readers that was engaged, and it was an interesting way of getting out there and trying to build yourself some accountability. So she understands Cardano pretty well from that perspective, and has been involved in certain aspects of the community that are not necessarily DeFi oriented, but it's very cool that we're able to do this together. We have a great team. We grabbed a stake pool operator named Steve Fisher, who's a CTO. He's a co-founder, and then we eventually ended up kind of grabbing people that fell off of other projects. And so we have a couple of the guys from Meld, a couple of the guys from Freeloaders that ended up, these things kind of go sideways. You have a lot of talented individuals need something to do. So the team is very Cardano centric, very capable of all the stuff that doing all the stuff that we need to have done, and doing it on a kind of a community first way. So everybody that's on the team, except for our CFO, Chris, is a Cardano native person, so to speak. So this really is like USDC built at home.
Oh, just for those interested in the book, I think Julian runs by Bookworm or Ada Bookworm. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see Lord Parlo's here. Love Lord. We'd love to have him do the audio version of the book.
Oh, do you have now this is a shameless one. We are currently looking for NFTs supporting giveaways from EU Cardano. Do you have some of the NFTs left that we could probably or potentially share?
I'll have to check. We didn't pre-mint any. We have I've got sort of like I've got a process running on a machine it's right over there, that mints the NFTs as people send in ADA to this address. So I don't know if the policy ID is expiring soon or what it is, but if you want, we can figure that out. Yeah.
That would be cool. Wonderful. Thank you. Great.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Julian, for keeping Matt on the line.
And she actually saved us a bunch of times. We had a very expensive contract with Plaid, and when it was obvious that, like back in March when things really hit the fan with USDC, we wanted to get they were able to get our pricing cut and get our things a little easier, to give us a lot more runway with what we had. So she saved us more than a couple of times. And then she's very good at marketing. She's got a PR degree, and she's been involved in lots of different marketing oriented campaigns. She was a copywriter for an ad agency, and so she's very good with that side of the business, naturally inclined in ways that I'm not. So she's fantastic to have on the team and does a great job too.
I can support that. When I'm too soft, my wife is coming in and said, "No, you're not going to do that." So let's hop on, because I think you want to jump into your holidays soon as well. And thank you so much again.
Thank you, Marcus.
All success. And Pudgy Cat.
And Davide.
Yes, indeed. Let's pass by from stablecoin to the cutest of the meme coin available on Cardano. Gaspar, my friend, if you want to take it away, you're very welcome.
Hi everyone. Thank you for leaving me the last 2 minutes of the show. After all these serious things,
no, you can get
time for
some more
some
time,
comedic stuff.
It's actually 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, I
No, you
want
can
to
have
be
more.
fast and brief. So
Take
all
your time.
the Americans are away, right? There's no more. We are only Europeans right now.
No,
Right?
look.
No, there are some around. It's okay. I know it's my favorite Lord around, which is my star of the show, my speaker. I'm very happy to have him here and to work with him every week, let's say. But we are working together. We have been working together for months now. We started in July because maybe some of you know that we publish a show, some kind of podcast online called The Great Beyond, which is the podcast that takes you on a journey to the fascinating world of crypto and beyond. And I'm the writer and the director of the show, as writing is my main job. I'm a professional writer. I've been a professional writer for almost 20 years in Italy, as you can easily understand from my accent. And I had the great luck to meet Lord online. I heard his voice for pure chance. I fell in love with his voice, and I thought that would be a wonderful voice to create some kind of radio show. And I pitched the idea to him. He liked it, and we are publishing every week a new interview. Weird interviews, I must say, because our guests are mostly AI generated. But you know, I must say this because we spent the last hour listening to very serious talks about technology, about finance, about legal things, and I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I mean, I understand and I enjoy and I appreciate the work of people like Big Pay. I am a big fan of Big Pay, and I love the work that Matthew is doing. But I mean, we are all initiated. We are already into the circle, into the bubble of the crypto world. We can understand what's going on because we know the space. But I can imagine if what Matthew said in his in this speech was listened by someone who doesn't know anything about this space, that person would get scared. Listening about oracles and datums and bakings and banks. I mean, it's all nice and good, of course, and we need this stuff. But I'm on Cardano as an end user, I say, because I care about the technology, I care about the financial aspect, but it's not my main purpose. What I want to do on Cardano, with the people on Cardano, is to share the technology and the aspects of this blockchain crypto space in a simple and accessible way. I mean, it's not all about finance. It's not all about economy, law, and technology. We are people in here. The people who are building this stuff are people in the first instance. We have interests, emotions, relations, and how do we express these things? With art. And I came from this background. I've been an artist, a writer for many years, so I want to use this kind of skill I have on this new field, because we talk so much about Web3, something that is the future, and we are early because these things is going to be big in the future. But we need to build the future now, because the future is going to come. There's nothing we are going to do to stop the future to reach us, but we need to be prepared. And it's not only about technical stuff and finance, it's the human side too. And that's for everything in my little project, because Pudgy Cat is a little project that has been around for 2 years. Even if sometimes when I talk with some people in the community, they look at me like we just started. we are not really into marketing, I must say. We are like the Fight Club of the crypto world. You have to come to us, and if you want to join us, we are happy to have you with us. But we are not going to shield our project around. Or I am very happy I have this space here with you right now, and I'm thankful to Davide that invited me, and I'm happy to share my experience with you all. But I'm not going to shield my project around. I mean, I publish my updates on my channels. I have a Discord server. I have this YouTube channel. I have the X account, I must say, formerly known as Twitter, because you say this way. And then we want people to join what we are doing in spontaneous way. They need to discover what we do, enjoy what we do, and if they like what we do, we are happy to have them with us. We don't want moon boys. We don't want people screaming all the time to the moon or stuff like that. The classic cliche in the crypto world. We want real people, a real community. If you sometimes happen to come to our Discord server, you can see us talking about sports and arts and movies and music. And those are the kind of projects I like to join when I spend time on Discord. For instance, I spent a lot of time on the Neum server because they talk about music. I like to spend time on the Cornucopia server because they like to talk about video games. Whatever is human in the space and is not only about the charts and the tokens and the value, because that to me is kind of depressing. I know there's a lot of people that want to exit the rat race and become rich, but it's not only about that. And that is a meme. If we really want to be a different blockchain, a different project, something that is not like Ethereum or Avalanche or Solana. Let's call Solana. Cardano must be different. Cardano is about people. I remember when I joined Cardano the first time, it was big talks about banking the unbanked, helping people in Africa, communication. War Mobile Token is doing a very good job. It seems like I'm spending my time talking about other projects, but it's not about talking about the project. It's about the vision. We need to remember that we had a purpose and we need to continue go towards that purpose the best we can. If someone can build, they can build. If someone can develop, they must develop. If someone can write or create music or movies or anything that is good to move forward in this new kind of technology, which is blockchain and the future of Web3, is going to grow at the same pace, because we're going to get there, or better, as I said, the future is going to reach for us, because we are not going anywhere. We are here, and the future is coming towards us as a tsunami, and we need to be prepared. And I'm talking too much. I'm getting too serious. And if you have any question, I am answer.
Love the energy. That's just great. And I was honestly, I was surprised to find out that you're not related to anything Asian. And because the cat
Really?
Yeah, totally.
I thought because of my eyes, it's
No, I thought really that's the thing that I want to ask, because there's these cats in Japan, I think, or China. Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you do this one, right? Is this the kind
they're
of
called
cat, right?
Maneki Neko. It's a passion of mine, and Maneki Neko means beckoning cat, and there is this very long tradition because of a legend in Japan that was a story of an emperor who was going to walk to a temple, and it was started raining, and he saw a cat that was moving his paw, like saying, "Come here," and he reached for the cat, and after he reached for the cat, how do you call it? a strike. You know, the thing that comes from the electrical thing that comes from the sky.
Lightning.
The lightning, right? The lightning fell right where the emperor was, and the cat saved the emperor, his life. So the emperor was grateful for this cat, and it became this kind of it's not a religion because it's a very nice thing as a story. And there are many kinds of these cats because the meaning of each of these cats change with the color or what they are holding, or if the left or the right paw are up. For instance, if you see the logo of the Pudgy Cat, they have the Pudgy Cat has the right paw up. When you go to a Chinese restaurant or a Japanese restaurant, you see the same cat but with the left paw up, because when it's the left paw, it's about the money. When it's the right paw, it's about friendship. And even if this project is on a blockchain where we talk about finance and money, I didn't want to have the money paw up. I want to have the friendship paw up.
Very
That's
nice.
because we started with this idea from the beginning. We wanted everything to be about the community and not about the finance.
Very
So
cool.
great.
I still want,
Nice.
I still don't want to be the cat, because saving the emperor and then getting killed and put into a form.
Well, no, I don't think it happened this way, but they are very loved by Japanese. It's a very, very bad luck to hurt a cat in Japan. So if you ever hurt a cat in Japan, it's like in Italy breaking a glass, 7 years of a mirror, 7 years of bad luck. You don't touch a cat with bad intent in Japan, or the gods are going to
Good
be.
to know. Good to know. Sorry,
So.
Simon, interrupted you, I think.
Oh no, I was just smiling, but I thought it was I thought these cats were Korean. No,
they are common in the whole Asian continent. The original tradition is Japanese, but they moved to China and Korea and other places too. And they reached the Web3 right now, so they are everywhere. And you know, our show, our podcast, The Great Beyond, is set on a spaceship in the outer space near a black hole. So this cat reached the outer space too. We are moving. Tell me.
No, I followed you. I followed your podcast already. I'm going to have a listen to it.
Okay. You can find it whenever. If you go to our website, which is pudgycat.io, you can find the link, the direct links to the platform you like the best. So if you like it on Spotify, you can find it, or YouTube, or Amazon Music, or what is the last one? Apple. Yes, there is Apple Music too. And on the site, on the website, you can find all the other things we worked on in these 2 years that span from NFTs to a collection of haikus, which is the short Japanese poems that we wanted to publish with a famous blockchain publisher on Cardano, but it seems it's not working. I mean, we didn't hear from them yet, so we'll wait.
Maybe now.
What?
Maybe
what?
now.
Maybe no. And you know, and we'll try to send our vision forward this way. And I saw you were starting this evening talking about Fund 11. So I give you this little information for the first time. We are going to send a proposal to Fund 11 to ask funding for season 2 of The Great Beyond. Because season 1, we are at the 8th episode of season 1 right now. Next Tuesday will be the 9th with a big surprise, and then on the 5th of December there will be the big finale of season 1. Then we'll start working with Lourdes on season 2. And I don't know if people realizes that, but even if it's just 10 minutes of show each episode, there's so much work behind it, because you have to imagine that the script must be written, and then we must record the voices, and then we must sample the AI voices. Then you have to find the soundtrack. Then you have to mix everything up and add the sound effects. Then after you're done with the audio part, you have to create the video part, because you can just upload an audio on YouTube, and then you have to create the images, and you have to create the animation, and it's a lot of work. Believe me, it's a lot of work, and we are doing it for free. I mean, I pay Lord. I want to say this: Lord is not working free for me. I pay him, and I would like to pay him more, but everything else I do, it's for free. I'm working for free, and everything related to the project has been for free for 2 years. Once I have been honored to be a guest at Dub Central. You of course know Farid, and we were talking about this thing, as the projects tend to have problems and run out of money and close because they can't support the expenses. We never took a single cent. Every ADA we got with our products went back into the project, the liquidity pools, or other stuff that would let us continue grow. And it seems we are the only project in the whole crypto space, not only on Cardano, but in the whole crypto space, that is not getting a single cent for ourselves. And this will be probably the first time.
It's an Italian thing.
Yeah, it's Italian thing. It's right, because we don't like money, and we only like food and coffee, and get mocked by the people around saying "Mamma mia," as American think we talk about. But yeah,
that's what we love about you. That's what we love about you so much.
I just want to say one thing before the next time someone from the United States come to Italy, please don't ask for fettuccine Alfredo. We don't even know who Alfredo is. We never saw this Alfredo. It's not an Italian dish. Stop. Everything else is okay, but not fettuccine Alfredo. Thank you.
Yeah, also spaghetti bolognese doesn't exist.
Spaghetti bolognese, it's a very
Well,
good
carbonara.
Carbonara, yes.
You know what's good, so stop with spaghetti Alfredo. They're fake stuff. Never mind. Said that, let's get serious for just 1 second. Fund 11. I'm finishing to write the draft of the proposal. I have some other days that, because I want to make a proposal that is well written. That it sounds stupid, but it's important, because I read not all, but most of the proposal that I saw in the last rounds, Fund 10, Fund 9, Fund 8. Just a few of them were actually good proposal. The others were shilling the idea. It's marketing proposal. Every time I read something that sounds like marketing to me, it doesn't sound good. It sounds like there's something behind that I should know and they don't want to tell me. So I don't want to sound like that. I want to create a proposal where I explain in the detail why we wanted money, how we're going to spend that money in the single instance for each thing, and why you, because you are the community, you should fund us with that money instead of funding something else. I mean, let's not get the Fund 10 chapter open, because some projects really didn't deserve the money they got, but it's my idea, so I'm okay with everyone. We hope to write a proposal that will be convincing, but not because you love us, because I know you all love the Pudgy Cat, but because it's a good proposal, because it will make you spark the idea that those are well spent money. and we'll try to do the best we can with that money. The idea will be to have a season 2 of the show with 20 new episodes and a lot of extra things to the episode. And finally, most importantly, I'll be able to pay Lourdes properly. So do it for Lourdes. Let that man get the money he deserves, because he's a great voice and he deserves all the money he can get for himself, for the family, for the dog. I think he has a dog. He's American. Everyone in America has a dog.
Even though he has got the dog.
Yeah, right. So that's about it about the project. Of course, if you have any question, I'm happy to answer to that. And then maybe it's almost dinner time in Italy. So
absolutely. I just don't want to be unfair, so I have to ask you as well. Do you want to share an NFT with us?
An NFT?
Yes. Do you have one that you would like to distribute via us during the Christmas season?
Well, if you ask so kindly, I can surely say yes. Let's get in touch about it, and we can surely do it. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Because I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want.
I would never say no to
feel
such a
bad.
proposal. So yeah, of course.
Thank you so much. I think with that we could conclude. Do you have questions?
I have no idea how much I spoke. What time is it? Oh yeah,
It was exactly the right amount of time.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay,
Right
okay, okay.
Yeah.
No questions. Good.
No, it's not a question, but hope to see you if we made a workshop next year in Italy for the SIP. Hope to see you there.
We'll do for sure.
I'm glad that let me know, and I'll be there. Yes. Hopefully I'll remember to take the t-shirts with the Pudgy Cat so anyone can recognize me. And,
cool.
I really look forward to meeting you next week.
Do you already have an idea about the city where you would want to do it?
Probably Bologna.
We need to figure out a lot of things first.
Because it's very easy to connect from all the other cities.
Yeah,
no,
I agree. It's even easy for me in Rome. I mean, it's 2 hours of train, and it's easy to reach. And then, mortadella.
Exactly. By the way, I really look forward to meet you next week. It will be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Prepare your liver because you're going to drink a lot of beer.
Oh my God. Okay, I try.
It was nice to know you, Davide.
I'm invited wife,
nice
so I
to meet all of you today. Yeah. I'm very happy.
I have to leave soon, so
let's conclude.
Ari, should we go?
Yes, I think we exceeded the time we expected, like every time. But it was an amazing Fireside Chat. I really enjoyed it in every part. We had wonderful guests. We learned a lot of stuff, and we had a lot of fun. So thank you guys. Thank you all the participants. And we see each other in 2 weeks.
I want to take these 2 minutes to thank you guys. And I want to show to everyone, because it's really difficult to make this Fireside Chat and all the activities in the community itself. And Marcus, Davide, and Ricardo puts all their heart and time, and they are doing an amazing job. They are carrying on all these activities, and this effort must to be recognized. So I want to take these 2 minutes just to show this to the whole people. Be thankful that they are in this community, trying everything to make it happen and carry on all these activities, because this is a marvelous space for everyone to chit chat and make connections, and it's all thanks to this team that I'm glad that I met, and marvelous people that they are doing a marvelous job. So just to say that.
Thank you, Mauro.
Thank you so much. I hope you're not ill or not gonna die, because that was really heartwarming. See you again in 2 weeks latest, hopefully.
Ciao.
No.
Thank you very much.
But it's true. So bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.